Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH Rebirth of Emperor Yang episode number 32 based on novel. So let's start. The whole medicine tripod is not strange at first glance, but after careful exploration, it can be found that there are cracks all over the whole medicine tripod. At least, nearly half of the tripod body is filled with almost thorough cracks. From top to bottom, the cracks spread like a pine tree, and Xiao Yan also hit at one glance. There was a clear knife mark above the medicine tripod, which was the key to the injury of the medicine tripod. Xiao Yan stared at the overbearing knife mark with both eyes, and was shocked by it in his heart. Luotianshan tripod can rank second in the list of Tianding. No matter how much success rate it can increase, the material used to refine Luotianshan tripod alone is extraordinary. A whole piece of Tianyang green gold, I'm afraid, can't be compared with all the possessions of a strong person in the source environment, and this Luotian god tripod is made of a whole piece of Tianyang green gold. However, this also made it possible to keep the prototype unbroken after being severely damaged. Xiao Yang saw such a tough medicine tripod for the first time in many years. The palm of Xiao Yang's hand slowly lifted up, and Xiao Yang's fingertips swept over the overbearing knife mark. Just as soon as he touched it, the overbearing horror left by his predecessors gushed out from the knife mark and attacked Xiao Yang's body, making Xiao Yang's face turn pale in an instant. Huh! Suddenly, a cold hum came from Xiao Yang's body, and the overbearing saber chi broke in response, but even so, the burst saber chi still caused a lot of bombardment in Xiao Yang's body. Pooh! At the moment when the knife gas burst, Xiao Yang suddenly retreated a few steps back and took a mouthful of blood against his will. It's just a residual Dao Qi. Unexpectedly, you dare to show off your strength in front of me. Don't say you're just a Dao Qi. Even if you come in person, you don't have that ability. The figure of Jiu slowly appeared beside Xiao Yang, and a cold hum came out of his mouth. With a wave of his big sleeve, an invisible strength burst out in an instant and bombarded the knife mark again. Bang! With a dull sound, the residual saber gas on it burst instantly and was erased by Guyo's move. Then, Guyo turned his head and looked at Xiao Yang, who was half kneeling on the ground. He snorted and scolded. Although the strength of this level guy is really not good, he is no longer a person you can touch at will. You think that the knife mark has no power after nearly 1,000 years. I really don't know the greatness of heaven and earth. If I hadn't been here today, I'm afraid even this wild ancient city would be destroyed in an instant. It depends on you. As soon as the words in Jiu came out, Xiao Yang coughed violently again, and the muscles on his face twitched. One blow destroyed the whole wild ancient city, and in an instant, Xiao Yang determined that even if he did his best to explode, coupled with the strange fire in his body, it was impossible to create such a terrible bombardment. However, now, with such a small knife chi, it can make such a terrible bombardment, but it is really shocking. In addition to being shocked, Xiao Yang secretly congratulated himself. Fortunately, Jiu Laro was present today, otherwise he didn't know how he died. In Xiao Yang's heart, he became more and more curious about the strong man who had left this knife mark. Being able to leave such a powerful knife chi can keep it for thousands of years. I'm afraid the strength of this strong man is also from the king's great territory. Yuan Wang Daijing, today's Xiao Yang is far from imagining that a strong man of that level can have a place even on the mainland, and there will be an all-out attack on the medicine tripod. I'm afraid the last owner of the Luo Tianshan tripod is not a mediocre. He sighed in his heart, but Xiao Yang coughed again. He quickly took out a Jopine recovery pill from Naji and swallowed it. As the pill entered the body, a warm current also spread rapidly from Xiao Yang's abdomen, and the injury in the body gradually recovered. When Xiao Yang stood up, Jiu on one side also gave another light hum, spread his dry palm in front of Xiao Yang, and said faintly, "Take it. It's good for you." As soon as he raised his eyebrows, Xiao Yang looked at the bony palm. In the palm, a bead as bright as jade was lying quietly. This. Xiao Yang just wanted to ask. Guyo immediately said, "Don't think too much. I don't have anything for you. This is the previous Dao Qi, but after my refining, there is still some understanding of the man's Dao technique. Although your weapon is not a big Dao, there are similarities between the two. You should be able to get a lot of experience." Hearing Jiu's words, Xiao Yang suddenly felt grateful. Jiu usually sticks to his duty and almost ignores Xiao Yang. But at this time, he still thinks about Xiao Yang's strength. How can he not move Xiao Yang's heart? Xiao Yang was a man who respected 1 foot and 1 foot. Seeing the righteousness of Guyo at the moment, he didn't hesitate to step back and respectfully made a younger generation salute to Guyo. Younger generation, thank you for your kindness. As for Xiao Yang, Jiyu also flashed in his eyes, and a smile of appreciation flashed across his mouth, but it was only a moment. After an instant, Jiyu returned to normal. He snorted in his nose, which was a reply to Xiao Yang. As soon as he threw his palm, he threw the bead in his palm at Xiao Yang at will. Xiao Yang also hurriedly caught it and looked at the bead in his hand carefully. Jiyu directly ignored Xiao Yang's existence and looked at the Luo Tianshunding. To be exact, it should be the knife mark on the Luo Tianshunding. After a long time, Jiyu glanced at Xiao Yang on one side, glanced away, looked straight at the knife mark with deep old eyes, and then slowly said, "Why, when the Dao Qi is broken, your seal is broken, so you don't want to come out and let us know, or do you want me to find you in person?" As soon as Guyo said this, Xiao Yang's face suddenly changed and looked at Guyo, but then he frowned again. He looked along Guyo's eyes, and the look in his eyes changed again. Guyo was talking to the knife mark. After Jiyu's voice fell, it seemed that something was aware of it in the Naluo Tiantian tripod. After hesitating for a moment, he finally sighed. Then, an almost transparent figure floated out of the Naluo Tiantian tripod and appeared in the eyes of Xiao Yang and Jiyu. Xiao Yang stared at the thin film transparent figure in front of him, and felt a shock in his heart. The power of the rules of Yuanwu continent is different from that of Duki continent, which also makes that before the strength reaches Dudi, everyone's soul can't persist for too long without body, and it's only a matter of time. At the moment, the illusory figure in front of Xiao Yang actually stood in front of him alive. Moreover, he came out of the Luo Tiantian tripod. That doesn't mean that his strength is at least a strong fighter. At this point, the pupil in Xiao Yang's eyes also contracted suddenly, and the eyes looking at the person in front of him were full of shock. For this, the almost transparent illusory figure ignored it at all, as if Xiao Yang standing on one side was like nothing, and his eyes stared at the Bonyu in front of him for a long time. The strength of Guyo, even now Xiao Yang, is still unknown. The only thing that can be guessed is that the real strength of Guyo is probably no less than that of the strong of Yuanzong. This also makes Xiao Yang more courageous. Although Jiyu sticks to his duty and won't fight for Xiao Yang knows that if it's really a critical moment of life and death, Jiyu will never stand idly by. "Hey, I'm finally willing to come out by myself." Jiyu grinned, looked at the illusory figure in front of her, put her arms around her chest, and slowly opened her mouth and smiled. Seeing this, the figure looked more and more dignified. In front of Jiyu, he could always feel an invisible threat. That kind of coercion is not intentional, but the aura possessed by the strongest. In this aura, anyone's strength will be suppressed out of thin air, and as a soul, he will be subjected to coercion like Mount Tai. Feel the discomfort of the unreal human figure. Guyo also has a slight pick in the eyebrows and a move in the heart. The invisible aura surrounding the whole body is quietly dispersed. From now on, Guyo is like an ordinary old man and can't feel the slightest breath fluctuation. And when the figure dispersed in the aura shrouded all over, it had already returned to its mind and looked at the Bonyu with a frightened face. He can control his chi field at will, and the nature of heaven and earth can retract and release freely. I'm afraid he can't compare with him in his peak period. He sighed again in his heart. The illusory figure was only overwhelmed by Jiyu after a moment of shock, and then slowly said, "Yes, I came out by myself. After living for a long time, I always don't want to die. In my heart, I'm always afraid of death. It's human nature." Jiyu also smiled, ignoring Xiao Yang who looked strange on one side, and opened his mouth again and said with a smile, "Don't introduce yourself. I, Ju Tong, was a man 1,000 years ago. I just don't know. Has this young generation ever heard of it?" Ju Tong looked directly at Xiao Yang and said slowly, but Xiao Yang was non-committal. He was not from Yuanwu. Where would he know this old guy? Seeing this appearance on Xiao Yang's face, Ju Tong also smiled miserably and didn't say much. It's ridiculous how a person who has already died can be known by these younger generations more than 1,000 years later. Jiyu smiled non-committally and then said, "The connection between Luo Tianshunding and you has not been cut off." As soon as Guyo's voice fell, Ju Tong's face changed instantly, but after a long silence, he still sighed and said, "What needs to be broken, sooner or later, is whether it can be today, but it still depends on your excellency." Jiyu also frowned when he heard the speech. His old eyes narrowed slightly and stared at Ju Tong. There was a surge of cold in his eyes. In the space around Jiyu, there were many small pieces of ice debris emerging. The power of bone spirit cold fire was also touched. Ju Tong's face changed instantly when he saw this scene. Those fine ice dregs made him feel a rather dangerous smell. If you want my Luo Tian divine tripod, you must settle a worry for me. This time, the ground around the bone quiet body has been covered by solid ice, and this is also his mood at the moment. Ju Tong ignored it, but his face returned to normal, and continued. Help me kill someone, otherwise, even if I fight the danger of extinction, this Luo Tianshan tripod will turn into a pile of powder. Are you threatening me? The cold ice turned into sharp ice cones and suspended around Ju Tong's body. As long as his bones and heart moved, Ju Tong would die in the next moment. This is not a threat, you can also see it as a threat to you. Although he was extremely nervous, Ju Tong still spoke slowly with a tough attitude. At the moment he spoke, the ice cone was only a minute away from his body. He could even feel that at this moment, even his ghost was about to be frozen. Jiu Yu looked at Ju Tong with a determined face with cold eyes, took a deep breath, slowly turned his head to Xiao Yang and said, "You kill." When Xiao Yang saw this, he showed a strange look on his face. The two people's words have always been unclear. He can only listen roughly. At the moment, the only thing he knows is that if he wants to get Luo Tianshanding, he must kill for the old Ju Tong. Two elders, can you tell me first how I can take this Luo Tian divine tripod? The corners of his mouth skimmed. Xiao Yang timidly looked at the two old men, and smiled. Kill the man who hurt him for him. He will take the initiative to cut off the connection with Luo Tianshanding. Luo Tianshanding will naturally belong to you. At this point, Xiao Yang also understood for a moment that in order to get Luo Tianshanding, he must first kill a strong man who is at least the source of the king's territory. Don't say he doesn't have the strength to kill now, just want to see, it's impossible. As if aware of the distress in Xiao Yang's heart, Ju Tong smiled again and said, I don't need you to go to him, as long as you can avenge me when I meet you. I can give you the Luo Tianshan tripod now, but the premise is that you should make a thunder punishment oath first. In my opinion, it's not necessary. Before the words fell, Guyo's whole body was burning in an instant, and the forest white flame was beating and circling around Guyo like an elf. Seeing the Mori white flame on Guyo, Ju Tong's face changed instantly. With his insight, he naturally knew the flame. Bone spirit cold fire. You are fire spirit. Ju Tong looked at Ji Yu with his eyes wide open. He was shocked. No wonder Xiao Yang was just a small semi-emperor. There were strong people with such strength around him. It turned out to be the spirit of different fire. It is well known that different fires in the world have already turned into spirits, and the people who can let them follow them are not cultivation talents. They can be called anti-heaven people. They are all dragons in people, and they must comply with natural principles. Otherwise, different fires will take the initiative to leave, and no one knows the reason. However, this rule must be observed by all different fire owners. At the moment, Xiao Yang in front of him can get the favor of different fire, and he is also the 11th bone spirit cold fire in the list of different fire. For him, the thunder punishment oath is almost visible. If there is nothing, the thunder punishment oath is really unnecessary. I can acquiesce in the thunder punishment oath, but I hope you can remember what I entrusted. Please remember that man's name is Fu Tu Hao. When the voice fell, Ju Tong's illusory body also slowly dispersed. When it was about to dissipate, Guyo explored the palm again, and the suction in the palm suddenly surged, and his broken soul was forcibly taken back by Guyo. After a long time, a fist-sized milky white light mass appeared in front of Xiao Yang, which was the essence condensed and refined by Ju Tong's remnant soul. Here, the soul light is pure enough. As long as you are careful, it should be able to integrate with the remnant soul of your ancestor. It can also be regarded as giving him a nourishment. As time passed, the medicine refining master's meeting was close at hand. The day Xiao Yang had been looking forward to for a long time was finally coming. The wild ancient city attracted attention, and another hot wave was about to surge. On the bed, Xiao Yang's figure trembled slightly. Then, Xiao Yang's figure disappeared in the inn. On the horizon, a space was slightly twisted, and Xiao Yang's figure slowly emerged, but he was not the first person to stand on the void. At this moment, on this horizon, there are already dozens of strong men with thick and solid breath standing in the void, and these people. Among them, those with the lowest strength have the strength of 1.5-star emperors, while those with the strongest strength have reached the terror level of 8.5-star emperors. Such a lineup can be called terror. The appearance of Xiao Yang obviously surprised these guys for a moment, and after seeing Xiao Yang's face, many people frowned slightly. Such a suckling boy dares to climb on the void. Do you really think anyone at this level can come up? But the next moment, after they noticed the obscure breath on Xiao Yang, they all turned pale again. Xiao Yang's breath was no worse than some of them. This looks like a young guy, but he is also a strong semi-emperor. When people were surprised at Xiao Yang's strength, a human shadow crossed the void and came to Xiao Yang. Before people arrived, the sound like a flood of thunder had already come, which made the world tremble. Ha ha, brother Yang Xiao, I haven't seen you for a few days. Your momentum is even stronger. Ha ha. As soon as he said this, all the semi-imperial strong men standing in the void immediately understood. No wonder he was so powerful at a young age. He was the most famous rock owl in the wild ancient city recently. As a result, the people also added a little admiration to Xiao Yang's eyes. Even some people's eyes already had pure glass and took the initiative to set up a close relationship with Xiao Yang. Recently, the supreme strength of Emperor Xiao Yang is not the focus of his reputation. What really shocks him is his peerless and exquisite medicine refining skill. At a young age, they not only reached the terrible half-imperial realm, but also more than them. Together with refining medicine, they caught up with their predecessors and reached the second-order terror level of the imperial realm. You know, the second-order herbalist, these 8 stars and a half emperors among them, are very jealous of them. The pill refined by the second-order herbalist can be regarded as a peerless boutique in the eyes of everyone under the Do Emperor, which is of endless benefit to the improvement of strength. The real strength of the second-order herbalist can be seen here. Xiao Yang smiled boldly when he saw Qin Zhong coming face to face, but there was no need to be too formal in the face of such people, otherwise he would be seen as unhappy. Elder brother Qin Zhong hasn't seen him for a few days. Are you going to the herbalist meeting? Qin Zhong smiled again when he heard the speech and said with a laugh. It's natural. This session of the Herbalist Congress is very lively. If you don't go and have a look, you won't have such a good opportunity for nothing. They looked at each other again and smiled. They wanted to go in the direction of the medicine refining masters meeting, but another human shadow flew over. Look, this person is the Shenlaro of Union Pavilion. Hihi, brother Yang Xiao, how are you going all the way? Once Xuanlao's words were exported, Qin Zhong beside Xiao Yang was stunned. What kind of power is Union Pavilion? As the representative of Union Pavilion to participate in the herbalist meeting, Shenlaro naturally represents the whole Union Pavilion, but he even asked Xiao Yang to go all the way. The meaning is self-evident. Xiao Yang was also stunned for a moment by the sudden voice of Xuanlao's words. Then he reacted, smiled and nodded, slowly opened his mouth and said with a smile, "It's a blessing for me to be able to walk with Shenlaro." Shenlaro smiled non-committally. The 3 moved, stepped on the void, and flew away towards the venue of the conference. When the 3 disappeared, the semi-imperial strongmen in the sky came back and looked at the direction of Xiao Yang's disappearance for a long time. A moment later, the 3 of Xiao Yang had come to a wide square, which was really the largest square Xiao Yang had ever seen. I'm afraid it's difficult to occupy all the people in the wild ancient city. Therefore, we can imagine the breadth of the square. The most difference is that the square is actually standing in the endless void. Xiao Yang saw such a scene for the first time. He, little friend of Rock Owl, brother Xuanye and brother Qin Zhong, since the 3 are here, let's go to the top. As soon as the 3 of them went up to the void square and fell down, President Jiu Li noticed Xiao Yang's arrival and smiled at Xiao Yang. Seeing this, the 3 were also unpretentious. They followed Jiu Li to a grandstand. Union Pavilion, as the largest force in the wild ancient city, should be in the jury. Qin Zhong's strength is also a good generation. Although it is not as good as Xuanlao's jury, it is also a good seat. Only Xiao Yang has many means, but after all, he is a new guest of this wild ancient city, but his position is not. Hehe, brother Yang Xiao is to join me. With the strength of brother Yang Xiao, you should have your position on the jury. But those 2 people are also there. At the end of the voice, Jiu Li's voice was vaguely reminded, but Xiao Yang nodded and smiled. Since he had his own position, he didn't have to be polite. Even if Wei Yi and that Mo Zhai were also there, was he afraid? When they sat down, Xiao Yang found that Shenlaro and he were also close to each other. His eyes narrowed slightly. He glanced at the red phosphorus made by one side, and thought flashed in his heart. I'm afraid Jiu Li deliberately arranged this position. He, isn't this the younger brother of Yang Xiao, a new advanced second-class herbalist in our herbalist guild? Why, you can't help but show your skills when you have some superficial knowledge of high-level herbalists. In my opinion, You'd better go back and practice for a few more years. Hey, I haven't seen imperial pills yet. I'm thinking of refining them. It's really fantastic. The person who spoke was naturally Wei Yi, the chief herbalist of the Herbalist Association, and from his words, he could hear that he had a big prejudice against Xiao Yang. Hey, haven't you seen a few imperial pills, too? You're still showing off in front of a young generation. People won't miss such a good learning opportunity. It's you. After I'm Dan Cheng, I can also borrow you to watch, so as not to know nothing about the pill and be a frog at the bottom of a well all my life. As soon as the voice of Wei Yi's words fell, another cold voice came out. For this person, Xiao Yang can know without looking. This person must be Mo Zhai, the second-order herbalist near the city in the south. Dong. When Wei Yi wanted to speak to Mo Zhai, a bell rang through the sky, but it spread slowly from the center of the square and spread over the empty square for a long time. In the middle of the square, Jiyu Li, president of the Herbalist Association, stood in the void, his hands behind him, and his eyes scanned the whole square. Immediately, a vigorous and powerful voice came out of Jiyu Li's mouth. I announce that the herbalist meeting begins. As soon as Jiyu Li's voice fell, his mind moved, and the vast sea of terrible soul power swept out of his body and spread over the whole square. Then, thousands of stone platforms appeared out of thin air, suspended in the middle of the square, and there was Guli's soul power, releasing the terrible soul pressure. Under such circumstances, thousands of medicine refiners on the stand jumped one after another at this moment, and appeared on the suspended stone platform in a few flashes. As soon as they stepped on the stone platform, a terrible pressure like Mount Tai fell on them, making their bodies sink. Even some of them were unstable after struggling to support a few breaths and fell off the stone platform. Then those people were disqualified by Jiyu Li and had to quit the field bitterly. Of course, most of these people obviously know a thing or two about the rules on the stone platform. At the moment when the threat of the soul attacks, there is an invisible soul force in the center of everyone's eyebrows, which sweeps out in an instant, trying to resist the terrible threat of the soul. At the same time, I dare not relax at my feet. These stone platforms are suspended in the air, but it is not said that they are absolutely stable. Under the mutual resistance of the two forces, many stone platforms have begun to tilt. At this time, the second round of knockout competition has been officially announced. In just a moment, many people fell from the stone platform again. In less than an hour, nearly half of the people fell on the stone platform with a total of no less than thousands of people. At the moment, the people still standing on the stone platform are naturally not so relaxed. Although they can barely stabilize the stone platform under their feet, many of them still look shaky. If this round lasts a little longer, I'm afraid many people will fall off the stone platform. Of course, there are not those who have no strength. Among them, there are no less than 10 9-grade herbalists who stand proudly under the powerful soul pressure. Obviously, the pressure has not reached their limit for them, and this also makes Jiyu Li, who has been observing the people, show a satisfied smile. On the stand, Xiao Yang was also amazed by this scene in the field. Such means can really make a quick decision. If Jiyu Li's soul power really breaks out, these 8 or 9-grade herbalists can't bear it just because of Yu Wei. But now Jiyu Li's such means is the fastest way to carry out the knockout. After these 2 rounds of knockout, it's time for real combat. The herbalist, who is best at medicine refining, is not the proud art of medicine refining. When the time of the second round comes, the soul pressure of Jiyu Li that spread to the whole void square immediately recedes like a tide. Needless to say, the third round of alchemy officially begins. As far as Xiao Yang and others are concerned, the competition between them is like a child playing, and there is nothing to see. Therefore, after the medicine refining started, it was only a moment, and Xiao Yang in the stands was already sleepy. If Jiyu Li and others were not there, I'm afraid he would have turned around and left. In the twinkling of an eye, 4 hours have passed quietly. The people in the stands also look bored. At a glance, except for a few people, they almost fell asleep. Cough. Suddenly, the sound of a light cough was heard in the grandstand, and Xiao Yang was awakened by the noise of the light cough. Hehe, brother Wei Yi, you see, the game is so boring at the moment. You and I haven't seen each other for so many years. Now I'm curious about the strength between you and me. Why don't we play? The speaker is Mo Zhai, who faces the city in the south. At the moment, Mo Zhai looked at Wei Yi with a strange smile, played with the teacup in his hand, smiled and said, What can we say between you and me? I want to know my real strength. I'll see you at the meeting later. Wei Yi heard Mo Zhai's words, but he gave a cold hum in his mouth, squinting at Mo Zhai with a cold face. Mo Zhai was not surprised at all. He raised his eyes to Wei Yi with disdain and said with a sneer, "Why, brother Wei Yi doesn't dare to compete with me. I think it's not that you don't want to expose your strength, but that you simply can't resist me. For so many years, your medicine refining technique is still in place. Mo Zhai, you want to die." Mo Zhai's provocative words also made Wei Yi's anger soar in an instant. His dry palm slapped the armrest of the stone chair, and Wei Yi's body also stood up. With a cold hum, Wei Yi's vigorous fighting spirit also surged in an instant, and the terrible breath belonging to 1.5-star Emperor also swept out in an instant and bombarded Mo Zhai. "Hey, why do you still want to fight me? Will I be afraid of you?" Seeing this, Mo Zhai once again gave a sneer, and his heart moved. A terrible breath of overbearing was swept out of his body in an instant, and blasted with Wei Yi's breath. Bang! With a bang, several strong men on the stand hurriedly flashed back, while Jiu Li looked at them with a gloomy face, but finally didn't say anything. Wei Yi looked at Mo Zhai with a dignified face. For so many years, his strength has been stuck in 1.5-star Emperor. I'm afraid it's impossible to make further progress, but now look at Mo Zhai, his strength. But it has reached the point of 3.5 stars Emperors. On the surface, even compared with Xiao Yang, he already wants to be similar. How can he deal with such strength? Even if I'm not as powerful as you, I've never been afraid of anyone if I'm more powerful than my soul. When Mo Zhai heard the speech, a bright light flashed in his eyes and said with a sneer, "Oh, well, since you are confident that your soul power is not inferior to me, but you and I are herbalists after all, today, I'm going to play. This is something related to herbalists." As soon as the voice fell, Mo Zhai's palm slowly lifted up, and then his heart moved. A blue flame appeared in Mo Zhai's palm with a puff. Xiao Yang was also attracted by the flame and turned his eyes, and their eyes just touched each other. Mo Zhai smiled again, and the sneer at the corners of his mouth was even worse. He slowly opened his mouth and said with a smile, "Why don't you come with brother Yang Xiao?" Xiao Yang raised his eyebrows and narrowed his eyes to Mo Zhai. Finally, he smiled and replied lazily, "Not interested." At the moment, Mo Zhai obviously wants to explore their real strength in advance. How can he easily let Xiao Yang go? It's boring to have more than two people. It's better for brother Yang Xiao to come together and add some bets. Isn't it interesting? As soon as the voice fell, Mo Zhai turned his hand, and a piece of red and gold crystal appeared in Mo Zhai's hand, and Xiao Yang's face finally changed again at this moment. Then Xiao Yang raised his eyes to Mo Zhai and nodded heavily after staring at the crystal stone. This video will end here.